Today it's Phil from PT Precision Automotive again. Got a 2015 model Toyota Prado. It's a 1KD-FTV engine, a later model engine. Customer's complaint is it's a little bit knocky, around 1500 to 2000, sort of a diesel kind of knock. But he has had this back to Toyota, complained about it. Toyota really didn't want to do much about it. He had it to another diesel company. They have replaced the diesel injectors, all four of them, and fitting kit onto that, which is great. He said he's pulled the manifold off and inspected, and he reckons it's full of carbon and oil and everything. So we're going to do a DeCarbon. I'm going to just do my preliminary checks. So I've got all the codes that have been written into the ECU off. I've rechecked to make sure that they're all coded, because we can find, people replace the injectors, but they don't code them to the car. The car will still run, but it may not run well and have other issues. So I've checked each injector, they're in the right spot and they're coded correctly. That's done. I've just checked a bit of the history on it. It's got 121,000 Ks on it. I'll take it for a drive, I'll have a listen to it. I'm going to have a look at the compensation, live data on the scan tool. One thing that can cause these to get a bit knocky is it's got an iDrive system in it, so a bit of a performance chip, I suppose. You can program it, you guys would know about that. They can cause an engine knock or a diesel knock noise from it. I've had it myself, I've ripped mine off. I don't use them anymore, although they boost up the engine and give you plenty of power. When I go down to the snow and it's really cold, the engine felt like it was going to throw a piston out. So I personally, I've removed mine. I don't use it anymore. Anyway, we'll just see what this does. Do you want to come around here? We'll just start it up. Let's see the conversation. So, kind of high. I've got cylinder number 1, 1.1, 1.1 is about it, and cylinder 2 is minus 1.3, 1.4, cylinder 3 minus 1.6, 1.8, cylinder 4 0.6. A bit high, but that can be due to the manifold being blocked as well. So we will find. I'm going to take this for a drive, have a listen to it, and once we strip the manifold down, we'll see how bad that is there. All right, so just take it for a run. Feels like it's good power as it is anyway. A little bit of rattle. Nothing too severe, I would say. It's got alright power. I wouldn't say it's over the top great, but it's certainly got a bit there. Oh, just let this person go. No, I should say that I scanned it for any fault codes. There was about 7 or 8 fault codes, but they were just nonsense ones relating to air conditioning and radio and stuff. The quantities that come down, so it's getting hotter, so it's getting better. This is the common thing with these Toyotas. They're really bad in the morning. It's reasonably good power. Yeah, 121. He reckons it's blocked up. Depends on some of these Toyotas whether they're blocked up or not. If they're doing short trips, start and stop, they definitely will be blocked up and carboned up at this sort of kilometres. I've seen it all before, but if they're on the highway constantly running for hours, they're generally pretty clean. But the unfortunate part is you actually don't know until you start stripping it apart. I mean, you can stick a bore scope down there and sort of get some sort of idea, or you pull the top part of the manifold off, but mate, you might as well commit to ripping it all off. The V8s are worse, and they're a big job. It sounds alright. And the compensation is getting better because it's getting warmer. Number 2 is a bit of an issue. But they got brand new injectors in it not long ago. So anyway, we'll see how we go. Okay, I'm about a bit over halfway through it. You can clearly see the build up there. That's the back of the valve, front of the valve. These, look at that one, chocker block. So it's going to get worse as I go down in there. I'm not going to film plenty of videos on there where I pull it all apart. But anyway, it's a tedious job. If you're going to do it, make sure you got blank offs for the, the diesel injection pipe outlets and inlets to the injectors and stuff like that. Block them off. Don't let any shit go in there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's last bolt here. Stuff on the back there. Yeah, get these bolts. Oh, I forgot to get there's a harness down the back on the swirl flap actuator, so I forgot to get that off. This should be it. Oh fuck. That harness down there, yeah, right down the back. Pain in the ass to get to. Jack the car up and get it off. So, she's pretty chock-a-block. Oh, I'll stick a finger in it. Oh. Yeah. That's it. Gummed up. It's fucked. Yeah. Needed doing. Yeah? Hell of a valve. Give us that. Yeah. On the inside, they're not the worst I've seen. Still got a fair bit of junk in the front. Front 2 are wet. That one's not so bad. Let's see what. So to clean all those. So what you do is you turn the motor over, close the valves, clean them up. Do each one. It's painful. Yeah. Right, so I got all bits and pieces on the bench here. So if you're going to do it at home, yeah, this is what you'll first see. In there's nothing there, yeah? So you're not going to see any carbon build-up. Further you go along, you're going to see these tubes that go in. It's going to look a little bit dirty. Right, and the next lot you're going to see is the EGR. That's starting to build up, right? The back of that. That's the front of it, sorry. The back of it looks worse, right? That's when it goes down. That's what the EGR sits in front of. That starts to build up. That's the port it goes down in. Have a look at this. This is just on here. That's 120,000 Ks, yeah? That's just, I mean, there's plenty more to have. Right, that's just out of that. I'm not going to scrape it. It's going to make a filthy mess, right? So then it comes into the bottom part of the manifold. You can see in here all this. I mean, I'm just look. Some of my tools. That's just falling out of there. Like all this is chunked up in here. It's not the worst I've seen. It's not great, yeah. And all these butterflies and everything, they're all got build up. On the back sides of these, they've got build up everywhere, yeah? So there's chunks everywhere. And look at that. So then you got the EGR cooler. Now what I did notice actually with this EGR cooler, what I do is I test all these vacuum diaphragms, the turbo, the filters and EGRs. I test all these with a Mighty Vac. What I did test this one, and it was binding up. You know, it's not so bad, but that's what happens. The carbon gets in there and builds up. inside there, and it'll jam these valves up. This valve, the EGR cooler, is not so bad. I can blow through that really easily. Generally speaking, they're not. I don't know if you can see in there too well, but you know, it's blocked, but not badly. So that'll end up really well. We'll do all these in the sonic bath and then a hot wash, everything afterwards, and then I'll show you. But it's, you know, it is what it is. Oh, watch out for these gaskets that stick up. A bit of claret, these little bastards here, they stick up. I'll touch it easy, yeah? A little bit of claret. Okay, so I'm in the process of cleaning all the manifold and everything. We've had most of the parts sitting in the hot wash overnight, then they go in the parts washer, and then I do a final clean and inspect on everything as I go. Obviously, just, you know, cleaning up manifolds and stuff. I check all the valves, so the little filter valves, these are susceptible to breaking. I check this is your EGR valve. I've checked the diaphragm on this. I've checked the movement on this. It's nice and free now, it's really free. So that's great. Obviously we replace all gaskets with all genuine. I keep all the genuine gaskets here, the manifold gaskets, everything. So just check the EGR valve. Obviously that's open now. Make sure with Mighty Vac that I've got plenty of vacuum on it and that holds. Yeah, and that way I can actually clean them. The bottom part of the valve as well. So it's all coming together. It's a filthy job, yeah? So it's time consuming and dirty. Okay, so I've just about finished cleaning all the ports. I go over the front of everything with a razor blade, make sure there's none of that black part of the paint stuff for the gasket, the manifold gasket. So it's all pretty clean, ready to go. Whatever else is left in these ports or down on the valves, the solution that we use will rinse all that off and clean all that up. So nearly getting closer. It's a full-on job there. Okay, so I've just about finished. Well, I have finished preparing everything. So the manifold's all clean. You know, so it's all nice and good. Yeah, the EGR coolers come up well. I mean, that wasn't a problem anyway, that you can see down in there. But no, I don't know if you can see it. It's too dark. That wasn't too bad actually. That was pretty good. So I'm ready to go. I've got all my gaskets, everything like that. So I'll start assembling it, putting it back together. It's a tedious, long job to put it all back together. This is a filthy, dirty job. No one else. If you think that you can have someone come out and do a DeCarbon on the car with solutions that run through that intake manifold and do what I've done, you're full of shit. Like that's bullshit. I mean, 15 years ago, we were told that that's what you could do. Possibly if it's a new car, like if it's 20, 30,000 Ks, it's not going to hurt to do that preventative maintenance kind of thing with solutions going through the manifold and cleaning it out and dumping the oil and filter. Sure, that's going to help prevent the massive build-up, but you can't tell me that that stuff is going to come off by a solution running through the manifold. You're throwing your money to the wind. Forget it. Go and put it on red or black at the casino as far as I'm concerned. Well, don't even do that because you might win. But I can guarantee you won't win if you do that. And if anyone's doing that to your car, don't bother spending the money. Save your money, wait a couple of times, then do it properly and rip the manifolds off. Have someone manually clean them. Like, it takes hours and hours and hours to do it. It takes different chemicals, you're doing hot washes, you're doing high pressure washes, and then you're doing manual cleaning and then new gaskets, and then I'm going to put it back on, then I'm going to run solutions through it just to wash anything else out and then dump the oil and filter. So this is the right way to do it. And I know I've got videos up there of doing it through the manifold, and I've commented back on there, so this is not the way to do it, and anyone doing that is full of it. Can't do it, don't do it. All right, I'm going to put that. Okay, so I've got it all back together, idling, running. I've just checked the compensation codes, or compensation for the diesel fuel injectors. They're a little bit high when they're cold, around the 2s, but as it warms up, it's getting a bit better. Okay, number one, 1.2, number 2 is -1.4, number 3 is 0 now, number 4 is 0 now. So I'm just going to do, because I'm not replacing these diesel injectors, I'm just going to do a clean, like a servicing clean on them. We run solutions through the diesel injection pump and the injectors, and that'll clean all that system out anyway. So I'll get that started. All right. Okay, so this is just now set up. So feed line's red, black's return. That's just down to the injection pump, and then the return line out of the return from the injector. So this will run, the solution will run about half hour, 40 minutes, depending on how patient. And we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Okay, so I've done the injectors. I slit that run through. I put a engine flush in it now, and then I'll run that around the block, and then I'll redo it. We use this the tune-up stuff. That's good shit. That's the flush, and then I will actually put a diesel additive into the tank as well from tune-up. They're really good. Yes, we use their products. They're good products. We do that for the injection clean as well. It's trade only, this stuff, but you know, it does a good job, and the people who sell this stuff stand by their product, and they're really good people to deal with. Yeah, so they're very good. Anyway, it's looking good. The injectors are looking good, but I've got to let everything run through and then do a final. I'll do engine oil and filter now once I've done that flush, and then I've got to degrease the whole thing. Okay, so I've just got the decarboning part doing. This is like the induction flush that we use, so it goes through the induction system, and that rest of the pistons and valves and through the exhaust and stuff. It'll constantly blow smoke all the time, you know. It's only just been on for a few minutes now, so got that run. I've got to stand and mind it and watch it. Yeah. Alright, just going to drop the oil out of this thing now. Let's get everything in it. Oh, Jesus, look at that. Right, that's just running out of there. Yeah, that's good. So this is it, sort of basically finishing now. That's the oil. That's black as the ace of spades. Running as. Yeah, so that's like water coming out of there. Now that's that decarboning doing its job, yeah? The thing already is going a lot better and a lot smoother and much more responsive. So it should be good, yeah? So I'll let that drain. That'll be fine. Okay, so I've finished. It's on eco as well. I'll get it off eco. So I've finished everything on it now. I've just done the pilot relearns and the relearns of the fuel system, oil filters. Whoa. Yeah, this is heaps different. This is heaps different from the car that it was. Much more responsive. What the fuck is this coming down the road? What's this yellow thing? What is that? It's a bug. It's a Lambo. Yeah. Anyway. Well, that's good. That's more responsive now off that. That's great. So that seems pretty good. A lot more responsive. I think you'd be happy with that. Whoa. We've got to do a transmission service on this thing as well, which then we'll do a relearn on the transmission after it's done. But all in all, it looks like it's worked out quite well. It's a bit more responsive. No, it's definitely more responsive. Heaps more pull in that mid-range, easily. But so that's all the manifolds off, decarbon through injectors and through manifold, oils, filters, and a full reset. That's worked out quite well. So that's awesome, actually. That wasn't like that before. anyway, so that's worked out well. Yep. Okay. I just don't know if I was a bit distracted in the last part of that video. I did hear a noise coming from under the bonnet, which is a high pitch sort of whistle. I don't know if you'll pick it up on the video or not, but I can hear like a kind of noise, like under acceleration. So to me, that's an exhaust leak. Oh, it's really, so you can't hear any noise now. That's it, it's perfect, right? I can slightly hear it just under load, the exhaust. That's a high pitched whistle noise that you'll hear on diesel engines. It's a common problem people don't or misdiagnose. They go, there's a whistling noise coming, and they think of where the fuck's it coming from, but it's generally an exhaust gasket or exhaust crack somewhere. And on this one, I found it was actually, I left the bolts loose on the bottom of the EGR valve. There's a 2-bolt flange with the new gasket and all that. I actually left those bolts loose, so that had made that. I must have been distracted by something. That shit happens, you know, but it found it before the car was released anyway, which was good. But it's a massive job undertaking to pull one of those manifolds down anyway. You're better off being left alone to do it, peace and quiet. And I've got phone calls coming on every day, all day, every day, and being interrupted, so yeah, mistakes happen, but that's good. But anyway, the compensation for the injectors after it's been done, whilst cold, is very good. It's ones or less than ones. Now hot, the cylinder 1 is the worst out of it, but it's not actually even worse. It's perfectly within spec. It's 0.8 positive, but the other ones are minus 0.3, minus 0.6, you know, minus 0.2. Perfect. It's fucking better than what it ever was. So, and it's picked up here. It's got heaps of more acceleration and pull through that 2,000 upwards. It's got an enormous amount of pull on it now, where it really didn't before. It was easy to drive. It was very comfortable to drive, but it didn't have that throwback where this, you can feel it straight away. Oh no, that's less than 2. So all in all, it's good. It's a big job, you know. I videoed most of this one. Guys were saying they wanted to see more. I videoed as much as I possibly could. You know, 2 people distracted, you know, doing this. So hopefully that gives you some sort of insight into this. Do not go doing just chemicals down the throttle body. It's fucking no point. Just, you're throwing your money away. Unless the car's got 20 to 40,000 Ks and you want to do it as preventative maintenance, possibly, yes. But anything over 80 to 100, don't bother. Pull the manifolds off. Save your money. Do it then. Do it properly. Okay.